Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Shoumojati Lahiri and this is my first live video. So let's repeat. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is my first live video and in this video, this is the part 2 video of my discussion regarding paper 1 of CA Foundation, Principles and Practice of Accounting, Chapter-1, Theoritical Framework, Unit-3, Accounting Terminology Glossary. So, we were done till a portion. We were done till capital employed. To see that video, please check my channel. And the last video uploaded is regarding this Unit 3 up to capital employed. So, today we will be continuing with capital profit or capital loss. So, let's start. In this video, I'm also using a new setup. I'm using a webcam and also a stylus to use as a touchpad. I'm using my smartphone. So let's continue. Capital profit or capital loss. Excess of the proceeds realized from the sale, transfer, or exchange of the whole or a part of a capital asset over its cost. So if you like my videos, do not forget to give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel for more such videos. So now, capital profit or capital loss. For example, you have an asset. You have a piece of land. A land is an asset for you? Yes. You have a piece of land. That land was purchased by you for rupees 1 lakh. But you sold the land. While selling the land, you sold it for rupees 3 lakhs. So now the excess 2 lakhs, rupees 3 lakh minus rupees 1 lakh is your capital profit. Why? Because it is generated from your asset, from the sale of your asset, which the purchase of your asset was a capital expenditure, right? Yes, as the purchase of your asset was a capital expenditure and your asset was a capital asset, in that case, the profit on sale of that capital asset is a capital profit. So, we are dealing with profit. In case of profit, the the excess of proceeds realized from the sale, transfer, or exchange of the whole or part of a capital asset over its cost. Let's take the case in vice versa. You purchased the land for rupees 3 lakhs, but you sold it for rupees 1 lakh. In that case, rupees 2 lakh is your loss, as that loss is due to the sale of a capital asset. In that case, that would be capital loss. When the result of this computation is negative, it is referred as capital loss. So capital profit and capital loss is done for us. Capital profit or capital loss is generated from sale or transfer of a capital asset. कैपिटल प्रॉफिट और कैपिटल लॉस कब होता है? तब जब हम लोग एक बिजनेसमैन या फिर एक बिजनेस कैपिटल एसेट को सेल या फिर ट्रांसफर करे। अगर जो सेल प्राइस या फिर ट्रांसफर प्राइस है वो कैपिटल एसेट का कॉस्ट से ज़्यादा है तो फिर आएगा कैपिटल प्रॉफिट। अगर कैपिटल एसेट का सेल प्राइस कैपिटल एसेट का परचेज प्राइस से कम है तब आएगा कैपिटल लॉस। नाउ कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक और नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, कैपिटल रिजर्व। कैपिटल रिजर्व, a reserve of a corporate enterprise which is not available for distribution as dividend. We all know, agar, what is a dividend? A dividend is the appropriation or the distribution of profit earned by a company. In case of firm, the partners or the sole proprietor takes away his profit. In the case of a company, it is named or it is termed as dividend. So, this dividend is given from the revenue profit or the revenue reserve that is present. For example, general reserve present within the company or the profit and loss account, the balance in profit and loss account is known as the free reserves or revenue reserves. The reserves within a company that are not revenue reserves are known as capital reserves. So, capital reserve is a reserve in a corporate enterprise which is not available for distribution as dividend. So, we can also write capital reserve. Capital reserve is a reserve that is not revenue. So, capital reserve is a reserve that is not a revenue reserve. So, this can be an example of, or this can be a definition of capital reserve. You can also write this. Capital reserve is a reserve that is not a revenue reserve, or capital reserve is a reserve that can be that is not used for the payment of dividend in a company. So, coming to the next point, capital work in progress. Capital work in progress is the expenditure on capital assets which are in the process of construction or completion. Capital work in progress is the expenditure on capital assets which are in the process of construction or completion. एक कैपिटल एसेट है जो बनाया जा रहा है. A capital asset is being prepared. It is not fully prepared, but it is in the process of being prepared. That capital asset, the half built or the semi built capital asset, is known as capital work in progress. Next, cash. Cash comprises cash on hand and demand deposits with bank. Cash comprises of cash on hand, demand deposits with bank. That means cash is the cash in hand and cash at bank. कैश का मतलब क्या होता है? Cash in hand and cash at bank. So we can also write over here cash equals to cash in hand plus cash at bank. Cash in hand plus cash at bank. It is known as cash. Demand deposits with bank and cash in hand. Next, cash equivalents. What are cash equivalents? The things that are equivalent to cash. जो सामान या फिर जो आइटम कैश के बराबर है उसे ही हम कैश इक्विवेलेंट कहते हैं. Cash equivalents. Cash equivalents are short term, highly liquid investments that are readily convertible into known amounts of cash and which are subject to an insignificant risk of changes in value. So, what is cash equivalents? Cash equivalents are short term, highly liquid investments. शॉर्ट कैश इक्विवेलेंट्स आर शॉर्ट टर्म, कैश इक्विवेलेंट्स बहुत शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए रहता है और हाईली लिक्विड रहता है। कैश हम लोग जानते हैं कि वो हाईली लिक्विड ही रहता है। लिक्विड किसे कहते हैं? जो कन्वर्टेबल टू कैश रहता है, जो इजीली कन्वर्टेबल टू कैश रहता है, वो है वो है कैश या फिर लिक्विड। और जो कैश है, कैश इन हैंड है या फिर कैश एट बैंक है, वो कैश के फॉर्म में ही रहता है। अगर बैंक में तुम्हारा कुछ बैलेंस है, वो बैंक में जाते ही वो कैश के फॉर्म में लिक्विडेट हो सकता है। इसीलिए कैश इन हैंड, कैश एट बैंक is also cash at bank is also cash equivalent. So cash equivalents are short term, highly liquid investments that are readily convertible into known amounts of cash. Highly liquid, readily convertible into known amounts of cash. अगर बैंक में तुम्हारा 10 लाख रुपीज कैश है या फिर 10 लाख रुपीज बैलेंस है, तो फिर अगर बैंक में जाओगे उसे लिक्विडेट करने के लिए, आपको 10 लाख रुपीज ही मिलेगा, आपको 9 लाख रुपीज नहीं मिलेगा। If you have 10 lakh rupees balance in your bank account, when you go to liquidate that account, liquidate that amount from your bank balance, the same 10 lakh rupees will be given to you in the form of cash. Understand? Yes. Cash basis of accounting. The method of recording transactions by which revenues and costs and assets and liabilities are reflected in the account in the period in which actual receipts or actual payments are made. So, cash basis accounting is the recording of transactions by which revenues, costs, assets, and liabilities are reflected in the accounts in the period in which actual receipts and actual payments are made. So, yes, actual receipts, actual payments. This is very important. कैश बेसिस अकाउंटिंग में जब कैश पेमेंट होता है या फिर कैश रिसीव्ड होता है, जब हम कैश मिलते हैं हमें या फिर कैश हम लोग पे करते हैं, तब जो अकाउंट को लिखा जाता है या फिर जो अकाउंट को रिकॉर्ड किया जाता है, उसे ही हम लोग कैश बेसिस अकाउंटिंग कहते हैं। लेकिन we all know that in case of accounts, we always prefer, or the principles generally accepted accounting principles always prefer accrual basis of accounting. Accrual basis of accounting is already discussed in our part 1 video. So if you haven't seen the part 1 video, kindly go and check it out. Cash discount. Cash discount is gra- a reduction granted by a supplier from the invoice price in consideration of immediate payment or payment within a stipulated time. Cash discount. What is cash discount? Cash discount is a reduction. Cash discount is a reduction granted by the supplier. कौन देता है? Supplier देता है. From the invoiced price in consideration of immediate payment or payment within the stipulated period. अगर एक सप्लायर को जल्दी कैश मिल जाता है तो उसके लिए फायदेमंद रहता है। If a supplier receives cash on spot or quickly, it is beneficial for the supplier. In that case, the supplier gives some discount to the buyer. Okay? That discount is known as cash discount. If you pay immediate cash or if you pay cash within 1 week or 1 month according to the terms and conditions given by the supplier, then the supplier can reduce your invoice, the reduce the price that would be taken from you. That reduced price is known as payment value, and the discount or the reduction in price is the cash discount. For example, if we take the example, we are taking an arbitrary example. For example, your invoice price equals to rupees. Okay. Mhm. For example, your invoice price equals to rupees 100, but you paid immediate cash. You paid rupees 100 immediately, but the supplier said, you are being so nice to me, so I will give you a discount of rupees 10. So now you have to pay rupees 90. You as the buyer has to pay rupees 90 to the supplier. In that case, this rupees 90 would be paid by you, and this discount, the discount given to you, the rupees 10 discount, will be the cash discount. So I think it is understandable. I think you have understood. कैश डिस्काउंट क्या होता है? अगर जो इनवॉइस प्राइस है उससे कुछ रिडक्शन मिलता है, वो रिडक्शन कौन देता है? सप्लायर देता है। तब उस रिडक्शन या फिर उस रिडक्शन इन कॉस्ट को बोलते हैं डिस्काउंट या फिर कैश डिस्काउंट। सो आई एम इरेजिंग इट, मैं इसको ड्रॉप कर दे रहा हूँ, ये आर्बिट्री था और टू द पॉइंट नहीं था इसीलिए। कैश प्रॉफिट, cash profit. The net profit has increased by non cash costs such as depreciation, amortization, etc. when the result of the computation is negative. It is termed as cash loss. What is cash profit? The net profit increased by non cash costs such as depreciation or amortization. जो नेट प्रॉफिट है उसे अगर हम, जो डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ एसेट्स है, अगर एक मशीनरी 10 लाख रुपीज से 10% डेप्रिशिएट हो रहा है, वो जो डेप्रिसिएशन है आपके लिए कैश लॉस नहीं है, वो एक वैल्यू के ऊपर लॉस है, लेकिन आपके तरफ से डेप्रिसिएशन के रूप में कुछ कैश नहीं जा रहा है। यू आर नॉट पेइंग कैश फॉर द डेप्रिसिएशन वैल्यू। सो द नेट इन case of calculating the net profit, we take into account the depreciation. But to the net profit, if we add up the value of depreciation of assets or amortization of assets, in that case, that total value, the net profit, the net profit plus the depreciation of assets and amortization of assets is the cash profit. In if in the case that cash profit is negative value, or if you are having net profit, a net loss from the beginning, from that you are adding up the depreciation, then also it gives up a value that is negative in nature. In that case it would be a cash loss. अगर जो कैश प्रॉफिट है वो नेगेटिव वैल्यू में है, वो हो जाता है कैश लॉस। सो कैश प्रॉफिट के एग्जाम्पल भी एक होना चाहिए। व्हाट इज कैश प्रॉफिट? मान लो आपका जो आपका नेट प्रॉफिट, आपका नेट प्रॉफिट है रुपीज 1 लाख। योर नेट प्रॉफिट इज रुपीज 1 लाख। It is an assumption, okay? In calculating the net profit, what we do, we take gross profit less the expenses, the revenue expenses, depreciation, amortization, the loss from sale, loss on sale of goods, etc., we take and calculate the net profit. But to this net profit, we are adding up depreciation. Why depreciation is being added up? For example, depreciation of rupees 10,000. We are adding depreciation rupees 10,000 to the net profit because depreciation is a non-cash expenditure. In calculating While calculating the depreciation, you are not paying any expense or not paying any cash for the depreciation value. So what, 1 lakh plus 10,000, it gives you 1.10 lakhs or 1 lakh 10,000. This is the cash profit. This 1 lakh 1 lakh net profit plus non-cash expenditure, net profit plus non-cash expenditure, net profit plus non-cash expenditure is the cash profit or cash loss. अगर ये value, if this value of cash profit is in negative, it is cash loss. Carrying amount. Next topic, carrying amount. Carrying amount is the amount at which an asset is recognized in the balance sheet, net of any accumulated amortization and accumulated impairment losses thereon. What is carrying amount? Carrying amount is the amount at which an asset is recognized in the balance sheet. If an asset is of rupees 10 lakh, but it has an accumulated depreciation or accumulated amortization of rupees 2 lakhs, then if, for example, an asset is of rupees 10 lakhs but it has an accumulated depreciation or accumulated amortization of rupees 10 lakh 2 lakhs, then the net value of that asset would be rupees 8 lakhs. That is the carrying amount. Carrying amount, if the carrying amount is not shown, the carrying amount is not portrayed in the balance sheet, the balance sheet would not show the true and fair view of the enterprise or the business. In that case, carrying amount is taken into consideration for displaying it in the balance sheet. So carrying amount is the cost. Carrying amount is the cost of that machinery or that asset minus accumulated depreciation or amortization. So carrying amount is cost minus accumulated depreciation or amortization of that asset, of the particular asset. Next, charge. Charge is an encumbrance on an asset to secure an indebtedness or other obligation. To secure an indebtedness or other obligation. It may be fixed or floating. What is a charge? Charge is an encumbrance on an asset to secure indebtedness or other obligation. For example, if I give you an for making you understand, if I give you an example, we all know that we take loan by by giving gold as a we pledge out gold, right? We take gold loan. By giving the gold, we take some amount or take some money in the form of loan. So that gold, the asset, gold is an asset that we are giving out the gold, or we are pledging the gold to another person for taking some amount of money in the form of loan. So that gold, the pledging of that gold, the right of that other person on that gold is known as creating the charge. We create a charge on that asset so that the other person gives his money in the form of loan to me, which I can use in my business. So it is in charge. अगर हम लोग गोल्ड लोन लेते हैं, हम लोग गोल्ड को गिरवी रखते हैं एक पर्सन के तरफ, एक घर पे या फिर एक बैंक पे, तब अगर गिरवी रखने के बाद जो बैंक है या फिर जो पर्सन है वो हमें लोन देता है, उसका मनी जो है, उसका कैश जो है हमें यूज करने देता है, इस ये मींस ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे कि हम उसे रिटर्न कर दे एक पीरियड ऑफ टाइम के बाद। उस गोल्ड पे जो बैंक का या फिर ऑपोजिट पर्सन का जो चार्ज, जो राइट क्रिएट होता है, उसे कहते हैं चार्ज। उस राइट को कहते हैं चार्ज। नेक्स्ट, चेक। Check is a bill of exchange drawn upon a specified banker and not expressed to be payable otherwise than on demand. What is a check? A check is a bill of exchange drawn upon a specified banker. We all have learned about bills of exchange in our class 11th and 12th. Bills of exchange or a bill of exchange is drawn on an acceptor or drawn on a indebted person so that after a stipulated time that person gives his money or he accepts to pay the money after a stipulated time. Bills of exchange is a type of contract, right? Yes. बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज जो है वो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है। उस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के आधारित जो जो पर्सन इंडेटेड है या फिर जो पर्सन लोन या फिर क्रेडिट लिया हुआ है, वो एक्सेप्ट करता है या फिर ये मान लेता है कि एक टाइम के बाद, 2 महीने या फिर 3 महीने के बाद, वो डेटर को वो जो लोन दे रहा है उसको एक अमाउंट ऑफ मनी रिटर्न कर देगा। जो अमाउंट वो लिया है उसे रिटर्न करना होगा या फिर वो रिटर्न कर देगा। तो फिर चेक है एक बिल्स ऑफ एक्सचेंज। अ चेक इज अ बिल्स ऑफ एक्सचेंज ड्रॉन अपॉन अ स्पेसिफाइड बैंकर। बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज एक पर्सन दूसरे पर्सन के लिए ड्रॉ करता है। वन पर्सन draws bills of exchange for an other person or on another person. But in case of check is a bill of exchange drawn upon a specified banker. एक बैंक जो है वो लायबल होता है पेमेंट करने के लिए। अगर वो चेक या फिर वो बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज उस बैंक को दिखाया जाए, वो बैंक को पे करना पड़ेगा। अगर वो बैंक को दिखाया गया कि ये रहा आपका चेक, उस बैंक को पेमेंट देना पड़ेगा। कौन किसको पेमेंट देना पड़ेगा? जो चेक होल्ड कर रहा है या फिर चेक होल्डर को। If the check or the bill of exchange which can be given to the bank or it can be presented to a bank for that bank to pay the money to the holder, in that case that bill of exchange is known as check. So a check is a bill of exchange drawn by a specified banker and not expressed to be payable otherwise than on demand. एक चेक को सिर्फ डिमांड पे ही, ऑन डिमांड ही पे किया जा सकता है। टाइम बेसिस के आधारित पे नहीं हो सकता है, वो डिमांड बेसिस पे होता है। अगर उस चेक को दिखा के डिमांड किया जाए कि हमें 1 लाख रुपए दो, तो फिर बैंकर को देना पड़ेगा। बैंकर का कोई राइट नहीं है या फिर कोई लाइबिलिटी नहीं है कि 1 महीने बाद उस होल्डर को एक 1 लाख रुपीज पेमेंट करना है। अगर जब जिस दिन वो होल्डर, जो चेक का होल्डर बैंक के पास जाए और बोले कि मुझे 1 लाख रुपए चाहिए, तो फिर बैंक को देना पड़ेगा। सो इन दिस केस, दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंस, exchange is on a specified banker। जो चेक है वो एक स्पेसिफाइड बैंकर के ऊपर ड्रॉ किया जाता है। a check is drawn on a specified banker, and it is important. A check cannot be drawn to other person, or a, any person other than a bank cannot be forced to pay in return of a check, but a bank should pay. Collateral security. Security which is given in addition to the principal security against the same liability or obligation. Security which is given in addition to principal security. जो सिक्योरिटी है वो एक प्रिंसिपल सिक्योरिटी के एडिशन में दिया जाता है, उसे कहते हैं कोलैटरल सिक्योरिटी against the same liability or obligation. For an example, let's consider you have taken a rupees 1 lakh rupee loan for rupees 1 lakh rupee 1 lakh as in the form of gold loan. You have paid gold or you have pledged gold of rupees 1 lakh 50,000 to acquire the gold loan of rupees 1 lakh. But the bank is asking, upon the gold of rupees 1.5 lakh, you also need to submit your house paper or your property paper to the bank. In that case, that property paper given to take the same loan, the property paper pledged upon the principal security, that is the gold, is known as the collateral security. सो कोलैटरल सिक्योरिटी क्या होता है? एक प्रिंसिपल सिक्योरिटी के एडिशन में जो सिक्योरिटी दिया जाता है या फिर एक क्रेडिटर लेता है अपने डेटर के तरफ से, उसे कहते हैं कोलैटरल सिक्योरिटी. कॉस्ट्स ऑफ डिस्पोजल. Costs of disposal are incremental costs directly attributable to the disposal of an asset, excluding finance costs and income tax expense. Cost of disposal क्या होता है? Cost of disposal is an incremental cost directly attributable to the disposal of an asset. एक एसेट को डिस्पोज करने के लिए जो एक्सपेंस को बियर करना पड़ता है, एक बिजनेसमैन को जो एक्सपेंस बियर करना पड़ता है, उसे ही कहते हैं कॉस्ट ऑफ डिस्पोजल. कॉस्ट ऑफ डिस्पोजल एक्सक्लूड्स फाइनेंस कॉस्ट एंड इनकम टैक्स एक्सपेंसेस. अगर उस एसेट के डिस्पोजल में कुछ इनकम टैक्स आता है या फिर कुछ फाइनेंस कॉस्ट आता है, वो नहीं, लेकिन वो एक एसेट को डिस्पोज करने के लिए, फॉर एग्जांपल एक जो है एक रेडियो एक्टिव वेस्ट है, उसे सॉइल के अंदर दफन करने के लिए, उसे सॉइल के अंदर बड़ी करने के लिए जो एक्सपेंस होता है, उसे ही कहते हैं हम कॉस्ट ऑफ डिस्पोजल. कॉस्ट ऑफ डिस्पोजल इज द एडिशनल कॉस्ट or incremental cost that is to be paid by the businessman in addition while disposing the asset. If there is a radioactive waste which needs to be buried under the soil, buried inside the soil, the cost for burying that asset or that radioactive waste inside the soil is known as cost of disposal. Now, next, contingency. Contingency is a condition or situation, the ultimate outcome of which, gain or loss, will be known or determined only on the occurrence or non occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. Contingency is a condition or a situation. Contingency एक condition है या फिर एक situation है. The ultimate outcome of which the ultimate outcome of which, gain or loss, gain भी हो सकता है या फिर loss भी हो सकता है, will be known or determined only on the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. एक फ्यूचर इवेंट होने या फिर ना होने पे जो एक्सपेंस या फिर इनकम होता है, उसे ही हम कंटीजेंसी कहते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, any income or expenditure that is dependent on an uncertain future event is known as contingency. If the future event occurs, you will earn something. If the if there is if the future event does not occur, you will lose something. That in that case, that future event or that income or expense, the income or expense which you will earn or incur, is known as contingency. So contingency is a condition or situation, the ultimate outcome of which, gain or loss, will be known or determined only on the occurrence or non occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. Contingent asset. Next topic, contingent asset. Contingent asset, an asset, the existence, ownership, or value of which may be known or determined only on the occurrence or non occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. The asset whose existence or non existence is dependent on occur on a future uncertain future event is known as contingent asset. We have learned about contingency. हम लोग contingency के contingency क्या है हम लोग जान चुके हैं. वहां पे जो उस आधारित उसके आधारित जो एसेट होता है, एक फ्यूचर अनसर्टन फ्यूचर इवेंट के आधारित जो एसेट का एग्जिस्टेंस या फिर नॉन एग्जिस्टेंस डिपेंड करता है, उसे ही हम लोग कंटिंजेंट एसेट कहते हैं. Contingent asset is an asset, the existence, ownership, or value of which the ownership, existence, ownership, and value of which may be known or determined only on the occurrence or non occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. फ्यूचर इवेंट अनसर्टन होना चाहिए और उसके ऊपर जो एसेट का एग्जिस्टेंस, वैल्यू या फिर जो ओनरशिप है डिपेंड करता है, उसी के उसको हम कंटीजेंट एसेट कहते हैं. कंटीजेंट लाइबिलिटी, जो कंटीजेंट एसेट है, कंटीजेंट एसेट के जैसा ही जो लाइबिलिटी होता है उसे ही हम कंटीजेंट लाइबिलिटी कहते हैं. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक, कंटीजेंट लाइबिलिटी. जो लाइबिलिटी कंटीजेंट एसेट के तरह होता है, द लाइबिलिटी विच इज जस्ट लाइक कंटीजेंट एसेट is known as contingent liability. Contingent asset is an obligation relating to an existing condition or situation which may arise in future depending on the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. तो यहाँ पे कॉमन चीज क्या है? अनसर्टन फ्यूचर इवेंट. जो अनसर्टन फ्यूचर इवेंट के ऊपर आधारित जो ऑब्लिगेशन है, उसे हम लोग कंटीजेंट लाइबिलिटी कहते हैं. कंटीजेंट लाइबिलिटी इज एन ऑब्लिगेशन relating to an existing condition or situation which may arise in future depending on the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. Next, contra account. Contra account. What is contra account? One or two or more accounts which partially or wholly offset another, or another or other accounts. One another or other accounts. One, two, or more accounts which partially or wholly offset another or other accounts. Another, it would be other, one another or other accounts. कॉन्ट्रा अकाउंट वो अकाउंट होते हैं जिसका एक एडजस्टमेंट और एक या फिर और दो एक के अधिक अकाउंट को अफेक्ट करता है या फिर एडजस्ट करता है, उसे ही हम लोग कॉन्ट्रा अकाउंट कहते हैं. One, two, or more accounts which partially or wholly offset each another, one another or other account. ये जो है ना, ये offset another के जगह पे ये one another. ये another की जगह one another होगा तो बहुत अच्छा सुनेगा. Offset one another or other accounts. For example, so let us consider a journal entry. For example, hmm, cash account debit to bank account. Cash account debit to bank account. And we all know bank is a cash equivalent, bank balance is a cash equivalent. So, inside a cash book, if this is a cash book, if this is a cash book, we prepare bank column and cash column. Bank column and cash column. We prepare like this: cash, bank, cash, bank. So, if cash account is debited, bank account should be credited. So there is a one entry, one journal entry is affecting that account, that single account itself. So this is a contra entry. A cash account debit to bank account. This one journal entry is a complete journal entry, and this journal entry is also correct. But it is affecting single or that same account itself twice. In that case, this is a contra entry because it is affecting one single account, the cash book account itself, twice, two times. In that case, this will be known as contra entry. Contra entry is such entries that affect, contra entries are such entries that affect the cash book, yeah, or any account twice or thrice. Next, cost. The amount of expenditure incurred on or attributable to a specified article, product, or activity. Cost is the amount of expenditure incurred on or attributable to specified article, product, or activity. So we can bisect or dissect the definition of cost into 2 to 3 parts. Cost is the amount of expenditure incurred on. So, cost is an amount of expenditure incurred on or attributable to a specified article, product, or activity. So, cost is the amount of expenditure incurred on or attributable to a specified article, product, or activity. Cost of purchase. The purchase price, including duties and taxes, freight inwards, and other expenditure directly attributable to acquisition, less trade discounts, rebates, duty drawbacks, and subsidies in respect of such purchase. So, what is cost of purchase? Cost of purchase, the purchase price including duties and taxes. Purchase price including duties and taxes, freight invoice, and other expenditure directly attributable to the acquisition, less trade discounts, rebates, duty drawbacks, and subsidies in respect of such purchase. So, for an example, cost of purchase is that amount that needs to be paid to acquisition for the acquisition of a particular asset or yes, particular asset. The amount that in total needs to be paid for the acquisition of an asset is known as the cost of purchase. So cost of purchase includes taxes, includes freight, includes the cost of good itself or the cost of asset itself, also includes the penalties or duties, and from the cost trade discount is less, is deducted, because trade discount is not a part of cost, but cash discount is, because cash discount is given on quick payment, but trade discount is given on the goods is also a asset. Okay, trade discounts, rebates, it excludes trade discounts, rebates, duty drawbacks, etc. So, cost of purchase is the amount that needs to be paid. So, we can also write like this: cost of purchase intends or it means that cost of purchase means that it is the amount payable for asset acquisition. So, cost of purchase is the amount payable for an asset acquisition, or for an asset acquisition. For an asset acquisition, cost of purchase is the amount payable for an asset acquisition. Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. The cost of goods sold during the accounting period in manufacturing operations. The cost of goods sold during an accounting period. What is cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is the cost is the total cost of goods that is sold during a accounting period. For example, we have sold, a business has sold rupees 10 lakh goods, but for producing the rupees 10 lakh goods, the business has incurred rupees 3 lakh as expense or cost. So rupees 3 lakh is the cost of goods sold. Thus, cost of goods sold is the cost in manufacturing or producing the goods that are sold during the accounting period. In manufacturing operations, it includes cost of materials, labor, labor overheads, factory overheads. Selling and administrative expenses are normally excluded. Selling and other administrative overheads are not a part of producing the goods or making the goods. Thus, cost of goods sold is the cost or manufacturing cost or production cost of the goods that are sold during a particular accounting period. Next, conversion cost. I think there might be some problem. So let's wait a few minutes or a few seconds. So yes, we are back again. Let's continue. Conversion cost. Conversion cost. Cost incurred to convert raw materials or components into finished or semi-finished goods. Costs incurred to convert raw materials or components into finished or semi-finished goods is known as the conversion cost. The cost that is incurred to convert a product or convert a material into semi-finished or finished goods is known as conversion cost. So, what is conversion cost? Conversion cost is the cost incurred to materials or one commodity into a semi-finished or finished product is known as conversion cost. This normally includes costs which are specifically attributable to units of production. The costs that are specifically attributable to the units of production is included under conversion cost. That is direct labor, direct expenses, subcontracted work, production overheads as applicable in accordance with either the direct cost or absorption costing method. So this will be learned in this costing methods will be learned in the CA intermediate level. So in we take up various methods in valuing the cost that is incurred in producing an asset or producing a finished commodity. So it includes that cost which is incurred by the business in producing that commodity. Production overhead excludes. So this is another topic. Production overhead excludes expenses which relate to general administration, excludes excludes expenses. Production overhead excludes the expenses which relate to general administration, finance, and general administration, finance, and selling and distribution. General administration products, overall finished goods. Thus, it is not attributable into product wise. It is not distributable product wise. In that case, expenses, the general expenses are not considered in conversion cost. Only the attributable production cost is considered in conversion cost. Convertible debenture, a debenture which gives the holder, a debenture that gives the debenture holder shares of the company partly is known as convertible debentures. जो डिबेंचर्स डिबेंचर होल्डर को राइट देता है कि डिबेंचर के एक पीरियड होल्डिंग के बाद वो डिबेंचर को उस कंपनी का इक्विटी शेयर्स में कन्वर्ट किया जा सकता है, या पूरा डिबेंचर्स का होल्डिंग को हो या फिर पार्टली उस पार्ट को हो, एक पार्ट को हो इक्विटी, उस कंपनी का इक्विटी शेयर्स में कन्वर्ट किया जा सकता है। जो डिबेंचर्स जो उस डिबेंचर होल्डर्स को वो राइट देता है उसे ही हम लोग कन्वर्टेबल डिबेंचर्स कहते हैं। क्यूमुलेटिव डिविडेंड, a dividend payable on cumulative preference shares. Dividend payable on cumulative preference shares is known as cumulative dividend, which, if unpaid, accumulates as a claim against the earnings of a corporate enterprise before any distribution is made to other shareholders. Cumulative dividend Cumulative dividends are payable on cumulative preference shares. In case of cumulative preference dividend, the dividend, if unpaid, accumulates year to year, period to period, unless it is paid, it is entirely paid. So, if there is an accumulated payable dividend, the company should pay first to the accumulated preference dividend, pay, clear the amount payable to preference shareholders in the form of cumulative preference dividend. Then the company can pay or make payment to other shareholders. So cumulative dividend are the preference share dividend which accumulates period to period or accumulates over time if it is unpaid by the company. Cumulative preference shares. So these were related. This was cumulative dividend and this is cumulative preference shares. These two are entirely related. Cumulative preference shares. A class of preference shares entitled to payment of cumulative dividend. The preference shares which are entitled to payment of cumulative dividend is known as cumulative preference shares. जो प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स जिसका राइट होता है क्यूमुलेटिव डिविडेंड रिसीव करने के लिए उसे ही हम लोग क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स कहते हैं. Preference shares are always deemed to be cumulative unless they are expressly made non-cumulative. एक प्रेफरेंस शेयर को जनरली क्यूमुलेटिव ही मान लिया जाता है जब तक उसे लिखित तरीके से या फिर एक्सप्रेस्ड तरीके से उसे नॉन क्यूमुलेटिव एक्सप्रेस किया जाए या फिर बोला जाए. अगर कुछ नहीं बोला जाए, if nothing is said or nothing is disclosed about a preference share, it is deemed to be or and it is assumed to be cumulative preference shares. If nothing is said, a preference share is always a cumulative preference share. So we are done till here. Actually, this is my first live class, and I have decided to take live classes for 1 hour. I've decided to take this live class for 1 hour, and we are almost ending. So, if you like my video, give this video a like, and also write down your feedback in the comment section down below. And also, do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more such videos. And also, write in the comment section down below the areas where I can improve myself and I can help you out. So thank you for watching, and yes, I will be back soon with my next video. Stay tuned and stay subscribed. Thank you.